Good morning, Prime Outcast Collective. Today's entry in the Alliance Knowledge Base is the Exploiter Orb and how you can solo this mission in about 30 minutes or less. You can either start the mission while in open world, or you can enter the room in Fortuna where Little Duck is and select the bounty from the war table. This is also where you find the more advanced profit taker bounties. There is a disadvantage to selecting the bounty to start the Exploiter Orb activity, because it requires everyone in your party to have completed at least one Thermia fracture and have diluted Thermia in their inventory. This mission won't let you start if there are any slackers on your team. This video shows me starting in open world, and I'm heading straight to the activity area, which is located on the east side of Warp Palace, just slightly north of the center of the side map. If you bring a whole group and start with this method, you only need one diluted Thermia. The other people can be slackers. I'm looking at you. I've been telling the whole Alliance every 10 minutes I have a video explaining how to do the Thermia fractions. I've placed a link at the top of this video right now. At the end of this video, I'll show my mod configuration for the weapons I used, and it includes a mod that you can only get from the Thermia event. Once you enter the cave, you will go through some doors which will lead you to this room. On the opposite side of the entry, there is a hole in the ceiling with support beams. On the last platform on the second story, this is the machine you need to place the diluted Thermia in to start the event. Before you press the button, ask yourself, have I lived a good life up until now? Because the orb is very mean and you will probably die. Once she descends from the ceiling, she will be balanced on either side of the rocks. Shoot at the legs that are on these rocks to break her out of this defensive position and get her on the ground. There are 4 vents on her abdomen. These are her weak spots. The first one you shoot will not be iced over, however, they will be on vents 2, 3, and 4. I recommend starting with one of the 2 vents on the back side. The other 2 vents are located on her side, just above her legs. To thaw the iced over vents, you'll need to pick up the orange containers that drop from the Thermia machine on the walls on the first and second levels of the building. These machines will be dark but glowing orange. Just so you know, this mission has been bugged since it was first introduced. Many mechanics are broken, but it's still completable. The bounty doesn't give you way markers or objectives to tell you what to do. So it makes no sense to even get the bounty. There's no upside to it. The way I learned was trial and error. It's a hard way to learn, but now I can pass on what works with you. You will need to toss the canister at the vent, then shoot it mid-air before it breaks. You may need to do 2 or 3 tosses to break the invulnerability on the vent. You're supposed to be able to instantly switch back to your weapon once you throw it, but that wasn't happening. One time I even managed to throw the canister at my face. Both me and the canister were somehow stuck in the frozen animation without even receiving a cold debuff. I've gotten stuck on rocks and walls. I was even trapped inside a machine I was standing next to. Just work through it. It doesn't get any better though. Some of the other bugs I've experienced is hidden invisible boxes, which won't allow you to hit your target, even if you're shooting at it. I've encountered that with spiders that are on the ground, which are constantly spawning in. I'd just be shooting them and they wouldn't die. So beware. The focus school that my operator has is Zonarek. I do that for the energy gain whenever I use my wellspring. But as you can see here, last gas just popped up. I have unlocked the Waybound last gas ability from the Inaru school. As long as you kill 3 enemies in 15 seconds, you get to revive without using affinity. This is the part I mentioned where I was affected by slow status and that thing just hit me in the head. It was going very slow and it just didn't go anywhere. You'll notice sometimes when my health gets extremely low, I will go operator mode in and out very fast. The reason I do this is because I have a Magus Elevate Arcane that I got from Quill Onco, which gives you, on transfer in, a 95% chance to restore 300 health to your Warframe. This is a lifesaver in some situations, and I really needed it here. So you should look into getting yourself your own Magus Elevate, or you can wait till the next time. I have it available in a giveaway. That little spider was stuck behind an invisible box. I encountered several instances where this has happened. And just a moment ago, I was throwing a canister at the vent, and my gun didn't even pop out until the vent had already hit the spider. It was severe lag at that point, and I'm doing a solo game. There's nobody else with me. There's no reason for it to lag. All I did was walk up to this machine and pick up a canister, and it decided to kidnap me. The Exploiter Orb is a unique boss when it comes to damage type. Most bosses require radiation to take damage, but she requires corrosive. So keep that in mind when you're making your build. And again, I will show you my mod configuration at the end of this video. Once you've destroyed the fourth vent, she will climb the walls, the wall that has the hole in the ceiling, and go back up to the surface of Orb Vallis. You just make your way back to the beginning. Now, there is a door in between the cave that leads outside and that building. If you're in a group, you may wait up to a minute for that door to open. So just don't stress it, let it wait. Once on the surface, she will call the Thermia spiders, the ones with the blue coolant for heads. Their job is to come to her and spray her with their coolant to cool her down. She makes such a ruckus that volcanoes literally erupt all around her. This is what makes her hot. Your job is to make sure they don't spray her. They will drop the blue Thermia canisters that you'll need to put into the fissures to turn them orange. That makes them go from cooling to heating. At a certain point, when Zood says, "We need more Thermia," you're supposed to throw the canisters at her. But I can't get this to work. I don't know if it's a bug or if I'm just doing it at the wrong time. Just keep an eye on the temperature gauge, and when you see it start rising, it'll go from blue to green to orange to red. Once it starts getting up high enough, start throwing the canisters at her. You can also skip the throwing part if you're focused on killing the spiders before they get to her, like laser focused. Don't worry about the canisters, just kill all the spiders. She will heat up naturally without them. I wasted a lot of time filling canisters and losing progress by missing them. Once she gets all the way to the red line, you go underneath her and press square. and that will activate the cutscene where you remove one of her vents. This is the damage phase. Up until now, she's been invulnerable, but now start shooting the vent that you just pulled out of her head. I tried several different weapons. What I found, the Void Rig doesn't do a lot with the Arcubex. I was using the Kuva Grattler there. The Ignis Wraith did a little bit more damage than my Void Rig did. And I could do 1,000,000 damage with my Arcubex. Overall, the Latum is the winner. And you'll see that later on. If you have a 4-member group, people that you normally play with, assign them tasks. Have 2 killing the spiders, 1 person filling the canisters and dropping them all in the same spot. And you could drop the canisters without throwing them just by pressing triangle. The person throwing can also be on spider duty until the temperature starts rising. This would be more effective than what I did in this video, but only because I soloed it. If you have 4 people, of course, it's going to be a quarter less harder for each person that you have. From this point on, you're basically repeating the same steps to get to the point where you can remove a vent from the head. So I'm just going to let this play out in high speed for a little bit. Now would be a good time to remind all of our Alliance members who haven't signed up for our Discord. It is absolutely free to sign and join up. You can find the link on the Alliance page through the Clan tab of the pause menu. We have several things going on. We have a Fashion Frame channel. We have giveaway channel where I give away a certain amount of prizes each week. We also have chat support. You could talk to anybody 24 hours a day. Someone's always up. Another good thing is links to our YouTube videos. So it's easy to find the exact video you need without having to search online. We also have written articles on how to do certain things. It's actually a really helpful website, especially if you're serious and wanting to gain mastery in Warframe. This is the part where I realized don't throw the canisters until it starts rising, just like that. I can continue to throw canisters if I choose, but once they're at this stage, she's going to naturally get too hot anyway. And then here you press square, and that'll put you up at the top where you release the vent, and then you can start the damage phase. Yeah, I really, next time I do this, I am not going to waste my time on filling the canisters. I'm just going to focus solely on the spiders and not letting them cool her down. That seems a more efficient way of doing it. I trimmed out some sections of this fight. It's just very tedious and it's repetitive. Now, if you notice, I do a lot of tumbles. I have Rolling Guard on, and that helps remove status effects from me. But there are several things you can use. Worm Prime is really good. It will remove all status effects after so many seconds. That comes in handy when you're doing Steel Path also. Adaptation is another good mod, which will, once you're damaged, it makes it harder for that damage type to affect you so soon. So anything you can do to protect yourself, because she is very mean. This is the very last damage phase that we have, and I am pulling out her horn. I didn't throw as many canisters as I did in previous stages of this fight, but as you can tell, I focus a little more on the spiders, and her temperature still rose up, and we could still get the damage phase. And she's dead. Alright, to collect your earnings from killing the Exploiter Orb, you want to head to her back end, and she's gonna shoot them out from her rear. It's kind of gross. You get mining materials, other rare materials from that planet, as well as you could get an ephemera. You'll get a piece of Hildryn, and that's the lazulite toroid. I have on a booster, a resource booster, so that I get 2 of everything. I've tried to farm stuff without a booster. It's painful, so I always keep one on. Resource chance booster and a resource drop booster.
Food? Food, you okay? Scores paid. Debts settled. Slates clear. You remember that.
Alright, this is a chance for you to see what all goodies that came from that fight. I did not fight any enemies outside of this event. I just went straight to it. And it's a pretty good haul. As promised, here is the setup for my weapons. You can pause the video now and you can either copy it or make it your own. A lot of times if I copy someone's build, it doesn't work for me. I use different arcanes, I have different shards than they do, and it doesn't work right until I tailor it to fit me. So just take everything that you see with a grain of salt. This concludes the Prime Outcast Collective knowledge base entry for the Exploiter Orb and how to complete it solo. I hope you learned enough so that you can attempt to do this solo yourself, or get a couple of friends and you try it out together. Please like and subscribe, and to receive notifications, just hit that bell. Whenever we have a new video come out, you will be notified. This is tabycatmeow. Good morning.